What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering. Hope you're having an absolutely wonderful day. Hope you're going to tune in at 5:30 Eastern. I'll be live with Stick Section Hammer today over on Quartercast or on the Mean Green website. But interesting real time with Bill Maher this weekend. You know, the hustle around skin color is something that is very profitable for certain people. They've made their entire existence on it. You could look at, maybe probably not as much Charlemagne when he started. Definitely Charlemagne now. You have the sports media, some of the worst imaginable, and everything is kind of getting revealed, bubbled up. All of this like weird tension, and quite frankly, this may make people feel uncomfortable to put it as plainly as I'm about to, but the Caitlin Clark situation has revealed without a doubt, in my opinion, that there is a deep hatred for white folks, in particular from black women, at least in sports, and the people in the media who are covering for their bad behavior and acting like, oh, well, it's just a basketball play when they push her to the ground, or, oh man, black people still have it so hard, even though basically every major musician and Hollywood actor or actress is no longer white, and whoever's the best should rise to the top. But this victimhood narrative is insane, and Bill Maher just snapped at Charlemagne. I'm not calling him the good. After the host tried to race bait, Bill Maher shut down Charlemagne after the radio host made a polarizing remark regarding race on Friday night's episode of The Bill Maher Show. During the interview, Charlemagne claimed that black people still have to be 5 times better than white folks in America to succeed. Why? Based on what? Nothing, right? The radio host's claim caused Maher to bristle and retort, "I think that is a zombie lie." The exchange between the two personalities occurred after Maher had brought up President Biden's commencement speech at Morehouse College, a historically black college in Atlanta, Georgia. During Biden's address, he asked the graduating students, quote, "What is democracy if you have to be 10 times better than anyone else to get a fair shot?" He was just pandering, right? Oh, sorry, black folks. You'll never be good. You'll never amount to anything because the entire system is stacked against you. That's their narrative, right? That's how you keep a community of people down and listening to you and suckling at your teat like Democrats do. This is often referred to as, keeping them on the plantation, so to speak. When you create this victimhood narrative, you make them much easier to control because you can say, we're the party that cares about you. We're the party systematically tearing down all these fake barriers that we also made up, right? You look at the way these black players are treating Caitlin Clark in the WNBA. Now, some of the stuff gets overblown. Some of it's just bad fouls, okay? But it's obvious they don't like her, and it's obvious why, all right? And people are trotting out there constantly to try and defend it and defend the, oh, it was just a basketball play, blah, blah, blah. No one would even know who Angel Reese is if she didn't act like a spoiled, rotten brat when it came to Caitlin Clark. That's just the fact. Angel Reese would not be a household name, and she really isn't, except for when mentioned in the same sentence as Caitlin Clark. Charlemagne, who recently announced that he would not be endorsing Biden for president 2024, nodded. Maher had then invoked the reactions of 2 prominent black intellectuals, Glenn Loury, an economist, and John McWhorter, a linguist, to Biden's comment. The comedian looked down at his notes, read remarks made by the economist, saying, "I thought that was the kind of speech you would have given in 1974, 1984, but not 2024. Maher then read the statement made by McWhorter. "For goodness sake, can we please admit that time passes? I remember my mother saying that in the 70s, when it still made some sense. It's simply not true anymore, and we should celebrate that." There's a whole, again, economy around being a victim, in particular in the minority community. Entire, journalists like Jamel Hill, who is a talentless hack, keeps a job because she's always like, oh, but I'm representing the downtrodden. I'm representing the voice. I'm a voice for the voiceless. Give me an award. Why am I getting an award for this? All this kind of crap, right? That's just not how this works. Nobody gives a crap that somebody's black anymore. Was there a time when large swaths of the population had issues with race? Yes, I'm not denying that. But that was 100 years ago. I mean, even if you say something crazy like 50 years ago, that's still the 80s. You know what I mean? Like, you had a couple of old timers saying coloreds back then. This is wild. If anything, it's gone the opposite direction where black folks feel completely empowered to disparage white folks, and it gets promoted by the media. The television host then asked Charlemagne, who dismissed DEI programs as mostly garbage 2 months ago, if he was agreement in Biden. I don't know if it's 10 times better, maybe 5 times better. Maher, visibly irritated, said, come on, you think you have to be 5 times better? Yeah, when you're black in America, absolutely. Charlemagne insisted. Charlemagne's also worth $100 million. And then I want to go, to the actual clip, because why is this dude always wearing so much makeup? Is he coming out as like trans or something? The interview itself is so wild.
But you don't think it's a problem that this young woman, there's so many examples where, black people are very marketable.
Well, ask yourself
and
this.
She seems to have been indoctrinated into this. They don't see it as marketable, so it doesn't matter how hard I work.
Well,
I don't think that's accurate or healthy. When people come into the league and they're like the biggest thing in college, isn't that a big deal?
No, because Asia Wilson was the biggest thing when she came out of South Carolina. That's where I'm from. So she was one of the biggest things when she came out of South Carolina, #1 draft pick. And she didn't get all of that. So
again, he only cares because she's white.
What do you attribute that to?
You're saying that's racism.
No, I'm not saying it's racist. I'm just saying that I think Asia Wilson has a point. And I think sometimes when, black women say certain things, we should listen, especially her, because I'm not in her shoes.
I don't know, but why?
I love this excuse that people use, and people probably of all colors do this, right? In this particular case, he's saying, black women. He's dodging. She says something that is stupid and not backed by reality. But he's not saying it. He's just saying, hey, we should listen to other women who say this stuff.
Why was Serena Williams such a big star? Because people like that. They didn't not watch her because she was black, right?
Yeah. Oops.
Okay.
Oops. Like, this is where the race grift completely falls apart. Again, I'm not like trying to, gloss over history. And there still people that have an issue with skin color? Yeah, but it's an enormously reduced number as 50 years ago.
So where are we with this?
I don't.
He won. That's where we're at it. He's right.
Big star, because people like that. They didn't not watch her because she was black, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oops.
So where are we with this?
I don't know. I'm just sitting back observing.
Yeah, that's right. Look at these comments, right? Biggest tennis star in the last 30 years, black woman. Biggest golf star in the last 30 years, black man. Are there 2 sports in this country with traditionally less black athletes in them? This whole conversation makes 0 sense. I missed the pre-woke period when you can socialize with people of all races and race was the furthest thing from your mind. This hypersensitivity and focus isn't healthy.
Lowry said, I thought it was the kindest.
I don't know if it's 10 times better, but maybe 5.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
You think you have to be 5 times?
Yeah, when you black in America, absolutely.
In 2024?
Yeah, when you're black in America, when you're a woman in America, if you're a black woman in America, absolutely.
I think that's a zombie lie.
Why?
Because I just don't think that's America anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It's not. But understand this, that young black Americans grow up with their parents telling them this. Then they go to school and some woke middle-aged white woman tells them this. Then they get a little bit older and their politicians tell them this. And at no point up until this point have they experienced it. However, perception is reality. It's like, why I can't even be mad that Charlemagne thinks this, because everybody that he's looked up to his entire life has told him that this is true, right? You see, Clay Travis, the number of black media figures who despise Caitlin Clark because she's white and pretend otherwise when they get called out on it keeps growing. It's 100% right. And if you look at, you want to go back, if you want to, the only reason Charlemagne knows that woman's name, Aja Wilson, is because he was from the state where she was from. Nobody on the planet knew who this woman was. So when she got to the WNBA, which was still losing money at that point and still is until Caitlin Clark changed the entire league, I think it is a big difference. Caitlin Clark was already a household name when she joined the WNBA. Nobody knew who the hell Aja Wilson was. I'm not saying she wasn't a great baller. I'm not saying she wasn't good. Okay. It's so wild that this programming is so deeply ingrained in the black community. It is reinforced by the government. It is reinforced by black personalities like Charlemagne, like that loser Jamel Hill, like any major black media analyst, because that's what they're paid to do, is sow division. Robert Griffin III put out some garbage like, oh, well, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese are getting used in a race war against each other. I don't think so. I only see one side continuing to fire salvos. I only see one side continuing to push her and get extra physical and smack her and all this kind of stuff. It's the black and rug muncher side. I don't see anybody. And by the way, her teammates need to show up for her and put one of these other women who are getting aggressive with her on their back. That's what happens in real basketball. The Milwaukee Bucks, if Giannis takes a hard foul, there's like 4 or 5 dudes that jump off that bench and are ready to go to war immediately. That's what she needs. So whoever, they need to have a team meeting and say like, hey, whatever fines you get enforcing, knocking someone's block off after they, to show them that there's a penalty that you can't just push her around, we'll pay for. That's what they need. But again, the race hustle is falling apart. They're desperate. They're flailing. And the best thing to happen to the race grift in 20 years is Caitlin Clark. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, please do subscribe or follow down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.